better part of my teens and 20s obsessing about having perfect sex, being the best at sex, being the best at blowies, making the sexiest noises, being the wettest and juiciest, having the most sensual orgasm, giving the most sensual orgasms, giving the best handy, things that guys probably don't even really want that much. I was obsessed with being perfect. And this, more than anything, destroyed my own sex life. One, I was just paralyzed with fear. I barely had sex, didn't have sex in my teens because I was just so worried about being perfect and about screwing up that I didn't even do it. And then by the time I was actually doing it, I was just so in my head. I was stuck in my head that I couldn't let go and ever enjoy the experience because all I was worrying about was what I was supposed to be doing. In sex therapy, this is called the PIP, the Perfect Intercourse Performance. And this is something that sabotages sex lives round the world, dare I say, because it sets you up to fail. It absolutely sets you up to fail. What is the PIP though? Where does it come from? You could probably guess. Media, religion, your parents, your friends, porn, anything. You know, like we have all of these images of what sex is supposed to look like and how you are supposed to sound and look and act and be in a time frame. You know, it has to happen in this amount of time and it has to, you know, and it's ridiculousness. It's exhausting. We are taught that sex is easy and predictable. And so when this typical sexual script fails, we view it as a personal failure. There's something wrong with us. And so we panic and we don't talk about it because we don't want anybody to know that something is wrong with us. And so we fake and we pretend and we slowly shut down. And statistically within 10 years, 20% of couples are completely non-sexual. And personally, I blame the PIP because when people aren't having sex the way that they're supposed to, they think there's no point and there's something wrong with them and it's uncomfortable to talk about it, so they shut down and then they stop having sex altogether. Not good. I do not want to be one of those couples. I'm terrified of being one of those couples. And I used to think that the remedy to becoming non-sexual was to be perfect at sex. I could not disagree more with 24-year-old Kendra. Now I believe that the best remedy to becoming a couple that does not become non-sexual is to adjust your expectations and give yourself a huge reality check. Are you ready for it? Because here it is. Statistically, people report that of the sex that they are having, 40 to 60% of that sex is good. 25% of that sex is very good. 15 to 20% of that sex is unsatisfying and dysfunctional. And 5% of that sex that they are having is actually the greatest sex that they have ever had. These numbers are pulled from research that is used in something called the good enough sex model. And it is a model in sex therapy that I love and adore. And it is about having a B+ mentality around sex. It was created by two wonderful humans, McCarthy and Metz. And McCarthy said that aiming to have 85% of the sex that you have be good sex, not even very good blow mind sex, just like good enough sex, is a huge win, which means that still 15% of that sex is probably going to be very unsatisfying or at least neutral to completely dysfunctional. And that's normal. That's normal. But what happens today is that people have like one negative sexual experience. They're like, oh my God, what's happening? Something's wrong with me. I'm broken. I'm broken. I hear that so often that people are like, I don't know, something's wrong with me. I must just be broken. I'm like, you're not broken. You're having a regular amount of mediocre sex. Everyone is going to have mediocre sex. Everyone is going to have bad sex. And hopefully everyone at some point in their life has amazing blow mind sex. And the chances of you having amazing mind-blowing sex is going to be significantly less if you think that every sexual experience needs to be perfect. Because the more you have that expectation, the more you will go into sex and be disappointed. And then the more you will have this headspace that you are thinking that you're bad at sex or that something's wrong with you. And so then the next sexual experience you go into, you're going to be expecting to fail. And then you perpetuate that cycle. Ugh. That was one big breath. So my challenge to you is give yourself a reality check and have realistic, age-appropriate expectations for having sex. Often people will expect themselves to perform the way that they did or could when they were 19 years old, which, I mean, that's not something you should be aiming for because having sex with 19-year-olds is probably not very satisfying. You must have realistic expectations for who you are and where you are in life. And also just in general, know that only 5% of sex is anywhere even close to being perfect. And good enough sex is good enough sex. Aim for a B+, baby. That is all I have for you for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram at Eat Squat Come. And until next time, eat, squat, and have some B+ sex.